Hi, my name is Peter Parker.
And today we draw Peter Parker in 4 different styles. Now the 4 styles that we have today are realistic, manga, pixel, and expressionism. Now these circles and lines that I've drawn throughout the face are basically little benchmarks so I know where all the planes will exist on the face. These are little lanyards, if you will, to help determine where everything lands on the face. But now let's start off with the manga effect. And for this, I drew inspiration from one of my favorite mangas, Jujutsu Kaisen. Manga just isn't a comic book style or a Japanese comic book style. It's got precision of lines and also precision of line weight, where to make lines thicker and thinner. But their precision lines are on a next tier. They will take forever to make sure that each line is parallel with a ruler to make sure each line gets that next level of perfection. But first, we're going to have to redraw the image a little. Now, if you have trouble inking, here's a fantastic tip. Use your arm and not your hand. As you can see, my arm is what makes the strokes, not my hand. For this section, I didn't use a ruler, but that's only because I like training my hand. I don't like to adapt to a ruler if I don't have to. Now, before we finish up this section, I do have a really important question to ask you. Who is your favorite Marvel character? And also, who's your favorite Spider-Man character? Now that we've closed the book on the manga section, we're going to head over to the land of pixels. For me, pixels are always reminiscent of those early 80s video games that I used to know and love and play as a kid on the NES. There are just so many fond memories that are built playing off those games, so I really wanted to emulate that style. I didn't want to go into the later 90s PS pixelated graphics like Chrono Trigger and Suikoden because I just feel like it didn't capture the essence of what the blocky pixel effect that is pretty popular. Now, I know it might seem like a cop-out because mainly it's a lot of red, but we're going to have to add lots of values into each little pixeled section, and we're also going to have to add the black little lines that go into Spider-Man's suit. Now, before we get too far into the video, if you're liking everything that you see, then please do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe button. We're close to 250,000 subscribers, and I love to see that you guys love these long-form kind of tutorial-based styles where I break down how I do each of the individual styles to help you get better. But if you do like the content, then please do me a favor once again, hit that like button and subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Now that we've gotten pixelated, it's time to get expressive. An easy way to use a kneaded eraser is to just gently roll it out into a little log and then erase away what you need. Because here we don't want to erase everything away. We want to show all of the colors and the textures, but we're going to need those guidelines to know where everything still lands. You'll notice me rotating the paper around. That just basically helps me get my hand in a better position, so this way I don't have to lean over the table so much. But now, let's make this thing expressive. And what is expressive? We want to use vibrant colors. We want to really emote the character. And whenever I think of Spider-Man, I think of pain, I think of suffering, I think of a lot of the things that he's had gone through. Regardless of what iteration of Spider-Man it is, he's gone through a lot. And in this new version of Spider-Man, he's had to give up everything and kind of start anew. So I wanted to represent that. Well, how do we do that? Cold colors, darks, blues, very dramatic lighting style. We're not going to have this be soft and light and flavorful. It's going to be dark, it's going to be miserable, it's going to be lots of contemporary contrasting colors that just make it feel eerie when you look at it. And one of the things that I love about Expressionism is that it's more of a painterly approach. You're thinking about forms and shapes, but you're also thinking about color, and you're kind of just letting go and having fun while you're doing it. It's not just like, oh, let me sketch in, let me sit here and hyperfixate on some details. But speaking of details, let's go to the realistic side. Here I want to show you how you can use your alcohol markers to get a much more richer, smoother blend and make these skin tones just pop off the page. But first, let's start with the hair. And for the hair, we're basically going to work lots of different values on top, and I'm going to work from pretty much light all the way to dark. And by doing that, we're going to basically throw in all the little hairs, but then just gradually add in layer upon layer of light and dark and bounce back and forth until we get a consistency that we're pretty happy with. When we think about realism and how we're going to achieve it, we want to think about planes on the face. So we're starting off with a really light beige, and then we're going to get it progressively darker, but basically sculpting away all the different forms of the face. So as you can see, we're just kind of identifying where some of the sharper values are. Then we're going to keep going a little darker, and a little bit darker, and a little bit darker, so we can see kind of where the eye socket's pressed in, as we're doing now, and where the hairline resides, and we're going to feather back in just some hairs so that way it blends back into the top of the head. And by doing this, working continuously layer upon layer upon layer, that's how you get those really smooth, gradual tones. I'm going with a peach, then like a lighter peach, then a slight brown, then a yellowish brown, a pinkish orange hue, because there are some pinks and some yellows. Don't just make it brown. That is probably the greatest tip that I can teach you, is don't just make it brown and white and then blend out the two and go up skin tone, up peach, that's it. There are yellows, there are greens, there are reds, there are blues in your skin tone. That's what makes realistic art look like a photograph, is when you throw in those subtle little tones of value. Now you might be thinking, how do I know where everything is? How do I get all those little awesome microscopic details? Well, here's a tip that I do. I generally take my image and I really blow it up, as you're going to see here. Here's where I can see where all the little wrinkles in the eyes are and where all the little bevels in the cheeks are. Every little microscopic detail is picked up. Once I have the basic skin tones and values that I want for the skin tone sound, I'm going to then progressively work in my color pencil work. But this is done very softly. We're not pressing hard, barely at all into the page. We're basically softly scrubbing in color. And realism takes a long time. Yeah, I did that intentionally, but I wanted to showcase just literally how long it is. This side took me about an hour and a half to complete for this little 4" by 2" section. The rest of the combined piece took me about 2, so if the whole thing is 3.5 hours and that one little section took me an hour and a half, you can imagine if I had to do a whole portrait, it's like 8 to 10 hours. We are almost out of time, but I want to say thank you to all my subscribers and my channel members. It means a lot to me. I can't tell you how thankful I am to have all of you in the channel watching as much as you do. So let me know which side is your favorite. Let me know in the comments. Thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see you all in the next video.